and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. Now, as tensions soar along the Indo-Bangladesh border, the BSF personnel have stopped a cattle smuggling attempt near the Chanakya Border Outpost in Jalpaiguri district in West Bengal. There was a group of 20-25 Bangladeshi infiltrators that was spotted 100 to 150 meters inside of Indian territory trying to take cattle from the Indian village of Singhapara into Bangladesh under heavy fog. When confronted, the infiltrators attacked the BSF personnel with lathis. The BSF used non-lethal methods including stun grenades and pump-action guns to deter the infiltrators. Despite this, the group surrounded the BSF team and continued their assault. In self-defense, the BSF personnel fired and later a dead body was found on the Bangladeshi side of the international border. Following this, a flag meeting was held between the BSF and the Bangladesh border guards to address the incident. The BSF lodged a protest against the entry of Bangladeshi nationals for smuggling and the attack on their personnel. This development comes in the backdrop of the Yunus-led Bangladeshi government deploying Turkey-made Bayraktar TB2 drones on the border. Prior to that, even Dhaka instructed its heads of missions in Kolkata and Agartala to return on an urgent basis. Meanwhile, as tensions escalate between India and Bangladesh, Yunus is still mum on the atrocities against the Hindus in his country. In fact, just last night, sometime between 2 and 3 a.m., radicals torched 2 ISKCON temples in Dhaka. The deities of Sri Lakshmi Narayan inside both the temples were set on fire and defaced. This is just one of the countless attacks against Hindus in Bangladesh since Yunus came to power. But it's not the fact that Yunus turns a blind eye to the plight of Hindus that's the only issue. He has gone so far as to brand India's legitimate concerns in the persecution of Hindus as a false narrative. This is a part of a series of provocations that have now reached the border. In fact, what's happened at the border comes as India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri is heading to Dhaka on Monday. What makes this visit crucial is the fact that this is the first bilateral visit ever since Sheikh Hasina's ouster in August 2024. So amidst all this, why is Yunus stoking the simmering tensions? Does he want war with India? I'm going to start my conversation. Joining me on the telecast is Ambassador Veena Sikri. Ambassador Sikri, you know, this is step-by-step escalation of tensions between Bangladesh and in India, and unfortunately this has been happening by the Bangladeshi side. We had predicted that after the severing of those missions from India, there was going to be the next step where the Hindus were under attack, the temples got desecrated, ISKCON ban order was pleaded in court, there was a demand that secularism be removed from the constitution of Bangladesh. Sheikh Mujibur's statue was defaced. He was no longer called the father of Bangladesh. His face, his bust from the currency notes had been completely removed. And now you see that there is an escalation along the border. There has been this infiltration that has taken place from the Bangladeshi side, and we were prepared for the worst. The question arises over here is, why is it that Bangladesh, which is multiple times smaller in terms of the size of the country, in terms of its military power, in terms of its GDP strength, trying to make things worse against India?
Well, I think if we analyze the situation from the Bangladesh end and the Indian end, we know the events that led up to 5th of August when Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina left Bangladesh and came to India. From India's side, right from that day until now, we have tried to maintain the normalcy in the relations between India and Bangladesh. We conveyed to the Bangladesh government that we are prepared to talk to the interim government. We are prepared to continue the cooperation on a large number of projects, which included, of course, connectivity projects, power supply projects, and infrastructure, and so many other projects. And but of course, we do know that from the first day, the attack of the right from the 5th August afternoon, the first target of attack of the Bangladeshi people have been the minority communities, and I think one can explain this directly from the fact that Professor Mohammed Yunus may be the chief advisor, but he seems to be not in control. And the real power behind the throne is the Jamaat-e-Islami and other Islamist parties and organizations like the Islami Andolan Bangladesh, which is a party, the Hifadhat-e-Islam, which is an Islamist organization, and Hizb ut-Tahrir, which is also an Islamist organization earlier banned. Now we know that some of these people, members, representatives of these parties and organizations, are also advisors in the interim government. So it is very clear that this pressure for attacking the minorities and trying very clearly to push them out of the country, that seems to be the big effort, because when the Buddhists were attacked in Khalkhachari, then the Hindus were attacked in almost every district of Bangladesh, and the Christians have been attacked. The Archbishop of the Roman Catholic Church of Dhaka has made statements on that. Every time they were told to leave the country, leave the country. So this is a very dangerous situation that the powers that be are building up, and it's combined with a very strong anti-India, almost not only propaganda, but call it a campaign, searing anti-India campaigning, a campaign blaming India for all the ills of Bangladesh, talking about India's saying, oh, that because of Sheikh Hasina, she was listening only to India. All kinds of allegations are there. And now that our foreign secretary is leading the delegation to Bangladesh, she's leaving tomorrow, in line with this maintenance of the need for dialogue and talk, I'm sure that it will be very clearly explained to Bangladesh what our red lines are, and we will. So far, we've maintained every effort to send humanitarian aid. 50,000 tons of rice has already gone. 50,000 tons of more rice are going, and every kind of aid and help is being provided to the people of Bangladesh, whatever their needs are.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that now we will explain this very clearly. This can continue. And if these provocations from the Bangladesh side continue, then of course the Indian side will be free to take its own steps in response, because this kind of a situation cannot continue. We have so far remained quiet. We've remained quiet even about attempts to desecrate the Indian flag. We know that has been done in Dhaka.
Yes.
Has been painted, and we know that the Indian Cultural Center, which was a very big center in Dhaka, was almost the first target of attack. Also on 5th of August, it was burnt to the ground. So there has been enough provocation from the Bangladesh side, and I think that the continuing attacks on the minorities, forcing them to leave their jobs, Hindu teachers, Hindu professors, Hindu government employees, they've all been forced to leave their job. Hindu sub-inspectors in the police force, they've all been forced to resign just by Geroy. This is a kind of a mobocracy prevailing there, and even judges of the Supreme Court of Bangladesh have been forced to resign like that, just by allowing them. So all this paints a very clear situation of the anarchy type of situation prevailing, and I'm sure all this will come out.
Yes, ma'am. I also have with me Major General Rajan Kochar, and what's concerning right now is that there has been an attempt that has been made by Bangladesh to further escalate the souring ties between Bangladesh and India. This is, along the international border. Now, how should India respond with regards to this incident where a Bangladeshi smuggler has been caught? He has been shot dead. There was a group of these smugglers. They had ambushed the BSF, and obviously what transpired after that. Now, we see that our foreign secretary is going to be arriving in Dhaka on Monday. What are the talks, what are the points that are going to be discussed, that are expected, and what is expected out of that meeting?
Thank you, Megha. I'll take your question stepwise. First, I will talk about the military aspect and the border aspect and this killing of the civilian on the border. And then I will cover the foreign secretary's agenda in Bangladesh. You have to understand that we have a 4,096 kilometer border with Bangladesh, and 5 of our states have a border with Bangladesh. West Bengal being the largest state having the largest border with Bangladesh.
Yeah.
We have the BSF there, and we have the Bangladesh border guards there, BGD it's called. A problem with Bangladesh border is that this border is fenced almost 81.5%, or I can say that 3,180 kilometers of this border is fenced. Remaining border is the terrain is such that it cannot be fenced. So we have regular infiltration, we have cattle smuggling, we have also drugs coming through this route, and BSF has a protocol on the border, shoot to kill. Because somebody is entering your country illegally, he is an intruder into your country. He doesn't have a visa. He doesn't have your permission to enter the country. So he is an enemy of the country. So they have a protocol that they will not allow anybody to intrude into our country. And you must remember, and we all the viewers must also understand that we have a proper international border with Bangladesh. It is not like China or Pakistan that portions of our border are disputed or not recognized.
Yeah.
So here we have an IB which is recognized. Anybody illegally entering into our country is an intruder, and he has to be dealt like this. There have been numerous incidents. This has not been the first time someone has been killed on the border. We have had numerous instances. I have certain statistics to say that there have been more than 1,000 of people who have been killed over the last 10 to 15 years who have been trying to enter into our border. And between the border guards of Bangladesh and the BSF, there have been five major clashes from 2001, 2005, 2008, 2013, and 2019. So this tension on the border which we have with Bangladesh, it is not happening because of the change of regime. I would like to make this one point absolutely clear, because it's a normal occurrence which actually happens on the border, where the illegal the immigrants are prevented from entering. Now the point about the agenda, it's very clear that the first and the foremost agenda is the protection of our minorities, or of our Hindu population in Bangladesh, protection of our temples, because it matters a lot to India. There is a great deal of sentiments involved in this country, and we are basically a Hindu nation. So Bangladesh has to understand, and it has to be sensitive to the requirement of India, and that's why the foreign secretary is going there. A second important agenda is the foreign secretary will reiterate to Bangladesh that India has been a friend of Bangladesh and will always be a friend of Bangladesh. There have been numerous, as a matter of fact, in the month of November only, I can actually say that last November, means almost about a year back, two main projects were inaugurated between Bangladesh and India. One is the Akhora Agartala cross-border rail link, and the other is the Khulna Mangla port rail link. So you have to understand, we are giving them power, we are giving them energy, we are giving them petroleum, diesel, and all things like that. So Bangladesh also understands that it cannot sustain itself without the help of India.
Right.
So I think this relationship has to be strengthened. Whosoever may be the party in Bangladesh, our one, I think, drawback has been that we did not engage with the other parties, and we kept on engaging with the Awami League. And my last point is that whatever happens in Bangladesh, the cards are with the Bangladesh army. So we have already started our backdoor channels with the army chief Wakarul Zaman, and Bangladesh army. Let me tell you, I have had students from Bangladesh Army whom have trained under me. Bangladesh Army and the Indian Army enjoy a very close rapport, and this backdoor diplomacy, which has already started happening, is going to play a very important role in
Okay.
restore
Okay.
disturbed relationship between India and Bangladesh. And I actually see this as a very strong element of diplomacy.
Okay, all right. Gautam Mukherjee, it's one thing that the government continues to not react or take action on the Hindus that are being attacked in Bangladesh, temples being desecrated, idols being destroyed. And then the escalation happens when Bangladesh decides to shut down its missions. It decides to summon our envoys. Now there is new border infiltration that has been witnessed, and I don't know how much do you concur with Major General Rajan Kochar that this is a routine matter. It has got nothing to do with the current state of souring of ties between Bangladesh and India. And then of course further of these steps taken with the Bangladesh government refusing to buy power from Adani Power. This was after that indictment notice that was issued against the Adanis by the New York Court of Justice. Do you think Bangladesh is trying to make this into a formal dispute with India, government to government, country to country, versus what was the underlying the trigger point was that the Hindus were under attack in Bangladesh?
Well, Megha, I think you need to look at it in terms of the other moves that they've been making. They have been cozying up to Pakistan. They have made it possible for Pakistanis to go there without verification now. They are planning to buy JF-17 fighter jets, again from Pakistan, which of course are actually Chinese fighter jets. I think there is a nexus between Pakistan, Bangladesh, with China backing it, and our threat is basically in the chicken neck area. And I wouldn't be surprised if a border clash or a clash with Bangladesh is engineered in the very near future. And we should make every attempt to not only secure the chicken neck, but to expand our presence by taking some territory from Bangladesh and consolidating that threat once and for all. It is a major threat. China is interested in breaking off 8 states. There are 8 states in the northeast, and China is interested in breaking it off. They're using Pakistan and now Bangladesh. Bangladesh is playing a willing collaborator with Pakistan. And I do think this is turning into a warlike situation. Whatever good we have done and whatever good feelings that have been there between us and Bangladesh is a matter of the past now. So unless, as I've said before, America intervenes and tells Bangladesh to pipe down, Pakistan to pipe down, warns China and all of that, because of the geopolitical implications, I do think this is going to escalate, and there is no way of papering this over and playing bilateral, sweet games with these people anymore.
Yeah. But the point is,
they
Bangladesh
are
knows it very
provoking
well.
us.
But if it were to combat against India, it is in all likelihood going to lose. So again, what is the reason that Bangladesh government has decided to take up its case against India?
Well, Bangladesh is playing cat's paw for Pakistan and China. They want to capture the chicken neck area. They want to break off the northeastern states from the rest of India. And this is what they're actually up to, because they're acting as agents. So we should be fully prepared for that. I have no doubt the government is seized of this. And we will have to attack and take territory to secure the chicken neck area once and for all. And this time, no giving it back, we keep it. And this is what is coming up. As for provocations on the border and the BSF and so on, I agree with General Kochar that this may be routine, but that's not where the action is. The action is directed, in my opinion, at the chicken neck. Megha.
Okay, all right. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast and sharing your views.